Hey, what's up YouTube? Cardboard.Capitan here, and today I want to share this best of 3 matchup with me playing green and black ramp, and let's see what the opponent is playing, so let's get started. So I choose to play first, and let's look at this opening hand. I'd say it's a good pick. I've got some removal through virtue of persistence. I've got some ramp with Glimpse the Core, some utility with Tranquil Frillback. Vaultborn Tyrant in the opening hand isn't ideal, but one bad card, it's not a big deal. I also have some mana fixing with Fabled Passage and some utility with Blast Zones. So let's see how this plays out. So I'll go Fabled Passage, and I would say get a Swamp here because I have Glimpse the Core as well as Car, so I shouldn't have any problems with the green I get, and I just need to focus on meeting the black mana cost. So opponent plays Monastery Swiftspear. So I can tell he's playing some sort of aggro deck, maybe Prowess. Let's see, that's red and green, so it's Gruul, so I can expect a lot of creatures, possibly some pump spells. And so I want to protect my life points here. Okay, so there's also some black. Chances are it's for Callous Sellsword, so there's some Fling in this deck, and it's Pony Stamp with Audacity. Now, rather than Glimpsing the Core, again, remove threat, protect your life points, because that Fling can take you out by surprise. So, because Virtue is a negative minus X effect, Cacophony Scamp does no damage when it passes. So I think, depending on what the opponent plays this turn, I can Glimpse this turn, but he plays a Picnic Ruiner. Now that can be a real threat if they drop 4 or more power, but I have a little buffer from those previous virtues, so I'm at 23 life. Oh, the opponent also plays an Audacity, so I know next turn it can swing for at least 8 double strike. I think, let's see. Despite that, I go for Glimpse the Core. I need to start hitting my big threats, so in particular that's Vaultborn Tyrant. Tranquil Frillback also provides a buffer with 4 life points for life, and can also remove that Audacity. So that's 12 double strike. Oh, and if the opponent has anything else to play, so opponent chooses to play, and because of that Felonious Rage, opponent will get a token. So my turn comes. Okay, so I need to have some life to prevent more direct damage like that. So thing is, so I tap my mana like that because the auto tapper sometimes messes with the mana, and it'll end up tapping dual lands when you need to save green to activate the different modes for throwback. I still have mana open for Anointed Affliction, should the opponent try to buff the creature or have a haste creature, and hopefully I can 2 for 1 them here. So Audacity. Here I'm gonna Anoint. I don't want that Audacity to come in because when it goes to a graveyard from play, opponent can draw a card. And since the token was exiled, no bonus buffs to power or toughness to Callous Sellsword. So I'm not attacking. I'm just gonna end my turn. Unfortunately, I don't have enough mana for Wildborn. So again, another big threat with the right cards to power it up. Okay, so opponent passes, so to me that means he has no buffs. I'll draw some cards, and I need those lands, but I also get a Fabled Passage. So I choose to hold it just to bluff a non-land card if I drop the Tyrant. But I'm not gonna attack. So next turn I can start dropping these Virtue of Persistences. And let's see, I don't think I have anything in my graveyard yet, but if he removes Wildborn Tyrant, Virtue can bring it back, and I have some sort of recursion there. I also have Heap Harvest, which can gain life and put me out of kill range. So yeah, that's what I'll do. I don't attack. What I could have done is play Swift Spear and still had mana open for Heap Harvest, but I can also charge a Blast Zone because both Callous Sellsword and Picnic Ruiner are 2 converted mana cost cards, so if I charge a Blast Zone, I can blow them up next turn. So now Picnic Ruiner is a 5/5. And he just chooses to pass. So with this situation, I don't think he has Reckless Charge, because if opponent did, they could swing and trample over. But instead, opponent chooses to Callous Sellsword, the Ruiner, and in response, I gain 3 life. So now I put a charge counter on Blast Zone should I need it. So I swing with both Swift Spears in case opponent has some with haste. And I hold Throwback and Tyrant back for defense. the opponent's out of options. I don't have anything I can bring back with versus. Oh, drops a Picnic Ruiner and a Callous Sellsword, so I think the opponent's getting desperate at this point just to have some blockers. So I'm gonna bring back a Swiftier and another Vault Quarantine. Blow up all his creatures with Blast Zone. Play Virtual Consistent, and that should be lethal. Or at least he'd be at 1. Yeah. So on to game 2. So let's see what I do. Conduit of Worlds doesn't have any value, or much value, when you're playing against aggro, just because many of their plays are early game, and that 4 mana casting cost is pretty slow in terms of their clock. It also, there isn't really much benefit to the recursion that Conduit of Worlds provides, so that's why I took it out. I also slide in Cut Down. So far, -2 Conduit, +2 Cut Down. And let's see. I took out Deadly Cover-Up because I'm worried about haste, and Deadly Cover-Up is Sorcerer Speed, so I swapped that out for a Cut Down. So opponent goes first. This is a keepable hand. A lot of removal, some ramp up the Beanstalk, Heaped Harvest. So let's see how this plays out. Opponent goes to 6 cards. Monastery Swiftier. Unfortunately, I don't have a swamp to play these cards right away, so I have to get one with Fabled Passage, and it comes to play tap. So, back from the stand. Felonious Raid, so it's gonna speed up. And opponent chooses to sacrifice it. I take 3, playing me to 11, and opponent gets a 2 token. So, just from 2 turns alone, I'm at 9 life. Virtue takes out the token, puts me at 13. So, possible 2 pump spells. Let's see how this plays out. Hearthfire Hero. So I have a Glimpse of Core. I'll need more forests. I need more swamps. So opponent has another Swiftier. So he's going to do everything. I annoyance with Affliction to the Hearthfire Hero, just because I don't want to deal with it later. And I get the second swamp. So here I go Heaped Harvest because I need to start drawing lands, building up my board, and it leaves me up with a mana for Cut Down. Now here, cut down is better to play on my turn, just because the opponent would have to use a buff spell on my turn, and not have it for their turn. So swings for 1, and I can start building up. So I'm gonna glimpse the core. Fetch the forest, and end my turn. Chooses not to sacrifice Scamp. So, okay, and plays a raw Callous Sellsword. So, normally you get some value from sacrificing a creature through the Burn Together ability of Sellsword, but because of the opponent's low hand count, I doubt the card that's unknown is a buff spell. So here I deadly cover up, and I have enough to investigate. So I'm weighing out my options. I take out Sellsword because I don't want to deal with Fling, and opponent just happens to have Sellsword in their hand. Take 1 for the Scamp. So right now I get the feeling the opponent doesn't have creatures, so here I can take the opportunity to quickly build up while the opponent doesn't have any options. Right, and as you can see here, the auto tap herd chose to use 2 green. So, whenever you play Throwback, do manually tap your mana. So that's backbreaking. So Hearthfire Hero, I'm going to block it just because I have a buffer, but from Cancel I still take 3, and from Hearthfire Hero's ability I still take 6, and opponent has a 2/2 creature on the board from Felonious Rage. So I thought about doing Virtue of Persistence, but that's too much of a commitment right now, so... And see, I have 1 black mana open if I were to cast Virtue. Casting Outrageous Robbery during the main phase is an option, just to have some blockers, but I also don't go with that. Because Outrageous Robbery is an instant, it might be better to play at the end of the opponent's turn, and if I need be, I can use Assassin's Trophy to take out all the creatures. So that's exactly what I'll do. I'll Assassin's Trophy, keeping me at 4 life. And because I have 2 of the Beanstalks, I can cast Outrageous Robbery for 6, draw 2 cards, and get 4 cards from the top of the opponent's library. So, 4 cards, please. And 2 Fabled Passages for my deck. So, let's see. I draw Virtue of Persistence. Oh, there's Wallborn, so I can start getting life. I can cut down his scam. I'll still take 1 damage, so I'll be in range of Lightning Strike. But I have Picnic Ruiner that I draw to opponent's deck to have at least blocked it. Alright, so Hardfire Hero. I can bring back Throwback, gain 4 life, and I think at this point it's over for the opponent because I'm just gonna keep gaining life. Draw cards. And there's Flesh Forger. I drop Kaj 2 because Kaj produces food tokens, and I can swing with Ruiner. It gets double strike because of Tyrant. Okay, so here I'm a double block. I don't know what's the card in hand, but I suspect it's some sort of buff card. I want to protect my life points at all costs because I can bring creatures back with Virtue anyway. So opponent has Overprotect, and because Overprotect gives it indestructible, I don't lose life from it. 4 life, and another fill back. So I just swing for lethal here. So double strike, Kaj, and then the Tyrant. And that's game. So overall, successful play. Green-Black is just my pet deck in best of 3 right now. I think it has some major issues, but you know, I'll go back and revisit it later on. So with that said, let me go to the outro. Hey, thank you all for watching. That's my socials, Cardboard.Capitan on Twitter, my Mox field where you can see this deck and a Boros token deck, as well as future decks. If you enjoyed the video, do like, do comment, do subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.